Alright, as you can see, it just says minor fixes and improvements. I think everything else is about the same. Yeah, that's all the same. Okay, so one thing I want to check is if the powershare thing is working. So, okay, outlet mods, we already have that. Charging, okay, powershare home backup is on. So the powershare wasn't working before. I'm going to shut off power to my house and see if it's fixed now, but I've never saw a thing that said it fixed it, so it's probably not, but we'll find out. Okay, as you can see, we got it plugged in. I set it to charge starting at midnight, but I don't really use the charger because I have free supercharging right now, but once that's gone, then I'll start using this. And you can see right now this light just flashes blue. Okay, we're here at the breaker box, so we're going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to shut the main one off. This is the, I believe, 200 amp. Yeah, 200. Okay, let's pull that off. You can see the lights turned off. Let's go back to the truck. The fact that the lights turned off means that it's not working. So you can see it's blue right here. It should go to purple. And my thing just said PowerShare stopped and something will restart. It just popped up on my phone. So here I can see on the screen, starting PowerShare home backup. So we'll see what happens. Discharging 0 kilowatts, PowerShare limit 5%. I'm going to give it some time. We'll see if anything happens. Alright, I'll be back in a bit. Okay, one thing I notice is this purple thing is going like this, but okay, reconnecting to grid. I don't know. This is what it was showing before. It just kept showing reconnecting to grid and nothing ever happened. So I have a feeling nothing is going to happen, but we'll wait a bit longer and then we'll see. I might have to call the electricians and see what's going on. Yeah, I'll let it sit like this for a few more minutes, but if nothing happens, then I'm just going to consider it dead. For now, I consider it's not working. I've never had this working, so I'm going to have to reach out to Tesla and see what to do. Last time they just told me to reach back out to the electricians that installed it, but they couldn't do anything either, so I don't know. They said that they're waiting for something from Tesla because I have solar, and they feel that's what's preventing it from working. But I don't know, because Tesla didn't tell me anything about that. So maybe I can get some more free supercharging because this thing is still not working. We'll see. Tesla actually put so much back into this truck and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like with all the service appointments, I've had 20 service appointments for a bunch of random things. Some of them just because I wanted things to be closer to perfect, not too creaky if it was making lots of noise while driving. I mean, I've had older cars that do that too, but I mean, when it's new, I don't want to have that all those creaking noises. When I have radio running or other stuff in the car, then I mean, it's harder to tell where the sounds are coming from because sound comes from everything in the cars, not just from the car itself. But yeah, so I had all that fixed. And then bunch of other random things, and I don't know. I feel like Tesla now put in like probably at least a quarter to almost half the cost of what I paid for this truck back into it in service. So yeah, that hasn't really bothered me because most of the time I get loaner vehicles. The only thing is I can't leave my stuff in this truck when I'm waiting for service appointments because then I have to take everything back out. So it's kind of a hassle putting things back in, taking things back out, putting things back in, taking things back out. But for the most part, I mean, I've been enjoying the truck. Most of the issues weren't really bad things. It's just me being pretty nitpicky, to be honest. But I mean, it's a new car, and I want to make sure things are done right. So that way Tesla knows, okay, these are issues that the vehicles have, and they should make sure that they're done right for future customers, not to just leave things all messed up. But as you can see, it's still reconnecting to the grid. And yeah, it doesn't seem like it's going to go on properly. If you guys want to know a list of all the stuff I've had done to it, there was a lot. Some surface level scratches from factory. They've buffed some after they buffed it. I was still able to see scratches, so they replaced a panel for me. The windshield, there were some issues with like the rubber pieces like along the edges falling in, and they replaced the windshield because they said that piece isn't like a piece that you can just pull out and then like glue back or hold it back into place. It's like attached to the windshield, I guess, in between the layers or something like that. So they've actually replaced my windshield, what, three times? So the first one, the rubber thing was falling in, they replaced it. The second one, there was like some little warpage in the middle layers, which kind of went away actually. And then I think it went away, but then I noticed a little chip in the bottom corner, so they replaced it a second time. And then the next one, it had like a little streak up here, so they replaced it. Well, the streak combined with the rubber pieces I noticed were falling in again, so they replaced it again. And that time they said that they're actually going to cover the replacement tint that I had on it. The tint was expensive. I paid $1,600 to get that done. So Tesla said they're going to send me a check for that. They already replaced the windshield, so I'm waiting for that check. They did before send me a check for $200 to put a strip across the top portion of the windshield. Oops. Sorry, the top portion of this windshield, because it had that little streak where like the factory tint was had a weird streak in it. So they sent me a check for that. So yeah, and then also at one service appointment, the door was making some noise when I close it. I guess they couldn't really figure that out, or it ended up being, I don't know. I think it's like the door, something with the welds or something. I think because they're using aluminum and steel, probably certain ones didn't stick well, and then sometimes when you close it, it makes like a rattly sound. I decided I didn't want to redo my whole wrap and everything for that, so I just left that alone. That noise doesn't happen except for when you close the door, and sometimes it's not all the time either. So I figured, whatever, it's fine, just leave it alone. That one I didn't want to bother with. But yeah, they scratched the tint because they thought it was the motor for the window or something, so they took it out and then they scratched the tint. And so they replaced the tint, not the window. They replaced or repaired the tint. What else? This piece, the glove box, there were a few things. Like the first one, the material here that wrapped around, there were like staples showing here. And then so they replaced this piece. And then there were other things, like this rubber piece came out, so they replaced this whole piece. I don't know, they replaced this whole piece like three times. Then later, well, there's all this junk in here right now, but here you can see it's still there, but okay, in the dark it's a little bit harder to see, but there's like where they pried this up here, I guess. And oops, I did not mean to. Okay, but there's like things where it's like they pried the plastic up there, so it's kind of like has a sharp edge. I think the heat slowly lets that piece melt, or not really melt, but it goes back down a little. You know, when plastic gets hot, it kind of is softer. So maybe after it cooled down, that little part that was bent up slightly kind of went back down a bit, so it's not as bad as before. But yeah, what else did I have? There were so many different things. Two of them were my fault because I ran over something that was a little bit too tall, and it hit the little aero cover that goes in front of the wheel for aerodynamics. So I had to do that twice. One time was on my long road trip. There was some roadkill, and then I ended up like running over it. And yeah, and then another time I think there was like some wooden, like, you know, those wooden posts that are probably about 4 inches tall or so. I don't know if it might have been something taller than that, because 4 inches, it should roll over that just fine. But I hit something wooden, and then, yeah, that pushed that thing out. The first one, but those pieces weren't too expensive. I don't remember how much it was. I think it was like $65 or something. But yeah, those little aero cover things, they ended up like getting, the screw mounts got like ripped out, the things that were holding in place. What else? But yeah, I think I had multiple things for those little swirl things. Then there were all the appointments for the recalls. The wiper motor was replaced for a recall. And then, I don't know why, but when I brought it in for the windshield thing, when I said the rubber seals were falling in. They replaced the windshield motor for whatever reason, I don't know. And then the windshield wiper, no matter what speed setting you set it to, it was going like max speed. And I was like, that one kind of annoyed me, bugged me, because I was like, you're making my windshield wiper run across a dry windshield with like all this junk on it, like full speed. So it worked out because that they replaced the windshield, and then they replaced the wiper stuff after that, so I didn't have to worry about all the dry debris scratching up the glass and also damaging the wiper blade. So they gave me a completely brand new wiper blade and then replaced the motor again, and they replaced the windshield at the same time, because that's what originally I brought it for. I'm like, why'd you replace the windshield wiper and motor when it was the windshield I brought it in for? So then they did it again. But the glass was replaced because that's what, like, afterwards. So the windshield wiper thing was separate. But when they, I don't know why, but for the rubber thing, they replaced the windshield wiper. And then what else did I have? Bunch of random creaks and squeaky noises from like plastic parts that they clipped together. They were just rubbing together. I think they need to make the plastic parts so that like these more softer materials like this stuff or the rubbery things wraps around over the plastic, so that way it has something softer to rub against instead of two plastic pieces rubbing together. It makes like creaky or crackly noises. What else? I think, if I remember correctly, I think the housing of here, when I had it go in and outwards to like adjust the steering wheel, it was also kind of making crackling noises. I think it wasn't clipped together properly or something. They ended up adjusting it, fixing that. My most recent appointment, after I picked up the Cybertruck, they forgot to plug back in the inside button for the frunk. So I was like joking with them. I said, now I can actually like lock people in the frunk. And they're like, but what else? At one point this piece fell down. I guess this was kind of they didn't lock it in right. You can see they have infrared lights to see inside the truck. That's what that light is. It's invisible to the naked eye, but the camera can pick it up. So those infrared lights are for the in-cabin camera, so they can see what's inside the vehicle or going on inside the vehicle. But yeah, this park reverse thing. So this is well, let me turn it on. Do I have to push this? Oh, it's because I have it plugged in, so I can't go into park reverse or anything like that. But yeah, this one, it has like the park, reverse, drive, those things, and neutral. That thing was falling down at one point. It's an issue that other people had, and it's because they have this like alignment pin that's in there, and I guess when they installed it, it didn't line up right. The alignment pin didn't go into the hole. It was actually like bending over, and then that caused it to like, it wasn't clipped in properly. So that fell down. They replaced that piece. My bed outlet lights, at one point it kept thinking the door was open. You can tell, like, once it does that, it has a thing on the screen that you can say to ignore it until the next time you drive or the next time you turn it off and turn it back on or something like that. So that there was some weird sensor or something. So they replaced something in it, and then they're like, okay, it looks like it's good. But then after, like, because it takes some time before it sends the signal again to say that the bed outlet has been left open. Like if you close it, open it, close it, open it, it doesn't resend that signal until you drive again or something. So after they said they checked all of that and replaced it, then I was like, nope, the issue's still there. So they replaced that one again. I was going on a trip at one point, and then they had the rear motor went out. And that's bad because the rear motor is the more powerful one. So when it was just the front motor, it was very slow. It was still faster than my old Prius, to be honest, but it felt so slow. So I had that one, I think, at about 10,000 miles, but that had a recall. At the time, they didn't have it as a recall, but I knew it was going to be a recall because when that happened, the where I was driving to for my trip, I went to a Tesla station nearby, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we have one available, like a motor available." But the tech, it was like Friday. I think it was Friday evening or something, Friday late in the day. So they're like, "Well, our tech is leaving soon, so we can't work on it over the weekend." I think I ended up picking it up on Tuesday or something, but I got a loaner, drove. The only thing is it was somewhat of a long drive, like several hours. Not like super long, but maybe like, I think it was a 3 hour or 4 hour, I don't know, something like that, 3 hour drive. So round trip, it was like almost 7 hours or something, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but I did get a loaner. I got to drive it around. Normally they tell you 200 miles a day limit, but the guy was like, "Don't worry about it. Drive as much as you want. It's fine." I'm assuming because they know that this is like the motor issue, and it's like, okay, we can't limit people to their driving, especially since I came from so far away. So yeah, so there was that. What other issues did I have? Yeah, the creaking noises and the other things were pretty common. I think there are a bunch of other like recalls, like the plastic part that goes across the top where they have the roof rack mounts. Those, I think for some they said were like flying out. So they replaced that. I had the original one was crooked, but then when they replaced the new one, I guess now it has a bolt, so they have no way to align it, so it's like slightly, I don't know, slanted some other way. I'm just very like OCD with that stuff. I don't know if you can call it OCD, but I call it OCD. I don't know. But I'm like, this is slightly unaligned, and they looked at it and they're like, well, because it's like bolted now, they can't really do anything to align it like before. And then also like this side metal piece, right? So the thin piece that goes over, that some people are having that fly off as well, so they repaired that, or they did that as a recall on both of those. What else? I don't know, there was a lot of random little things that I had worked on, and yeah. So yeah, but yeah, there were like, yeah, 20. What else? Oh yeah, the pedal down there. I think mine might be the only one without that little bolt now. Because I told them I didn't want the little rivet. I told them if they had a different way to fix it. So they waited, and eventually they did some, I don't know. They said they did something to it, but there's no rivet there. So I don't know what their solution was for mine, because I said I didn't want that rivet there. So I don't know. They said they did something. Maybe they just made sure to clean it really well so it didn't have that, they were saying that the reason it was slipping before or coming off before was because people used like detergent or something to make it slippery to stick it on. So maybe what they did was they just replaced the whole thing, cleaned it up, and then stuck a new pedal on without using the detergent trick or something. I don't know. But yeah, they did a lot of stuff to my vehicle. Oh yeah, at one point, this light that's on the door on the rear driver's side, I think it wasn't turning on. I think they forgot to connect something. Another time, this panel, I guess when they removed it, the clips were probably holding too strong, and then they cracked this panel, and then they tried to use glue to hold it back. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if that was Tesla. I'm assuming it was, but I had people that designed the mirror removal. So I removed the mirror from the side mirrors from my vehicle, and I don't know if Tesla did that or if that company or that person did it. They denied that. So I mean, when I brought it up, then Tesla kind of was just like, okay, yeah, we'll replace this. So honestly, I don't know if it was Tesla that did that, but Tesla kind of accepted it. So I'm assuming it was Tesla. So this piece, you couldn't see it like, because there's this fake leathery stuff on top, but I saw like a line here, like a crease, and I'm like, what is that? And then I didn't know until, I don't remember why, but I was pulling this forward a little bit, and then I noticed there was like glue and stuff behind it, and I was like, what the heck? So there was that. when they replaced my windshield on the last one, they said they also replaced this top piece. What else did they do? When they replaced the center console, they replaced this screen as well. I didn't need the screen replaced. The problem with that, though, with the screen being replaced, is I had a screen protector on it. So now I gotta buy another screen protector. And then the back one, I'm not gonna be too, what do you call? I don't know. I'm not gonna be too picky about it and like tell them, hey, like you need to pay me for a new screen protector. It's fine, the screen protectors aren't that expensive. The other one is this middle piece that comes down. It has cup holders there, and the cup holder, the little rubber pieces that pop out or that stick out to grab the bottle, they got stuck inside out or like pushed inwards, so they replaced that piece as well. The rear trunk thing, the emergency release things, they were from factory. Like one of them was twisted, so when you pull it, it only unlatched one side. So basically, since the other side doesn't unlatch, you'd be trapped in there. So luckily, I didn't test that with my phone outside or something, but I tested that latch and it didn't work. So they untangled it or untwisted it. It had a kink in it. They untwisted it, and then they used some zip ties to hold it in place so it wouldn't go back into that, like it wouldn't be able to move around and get tangled again. I'm trying to think what else I had worked on or replaced. It was a lot of stuff, so I don't know. And a lot of the service appointments, it was multiple things at once. So the 20 things, some of it was like they worked on it and then they thought they fixed the issue, and then I'll come and check it and I'll be like, hey, like this issue's still here, or there's some other weird issue that came up. So yeah, there was quite a few things. Oh yeah, so the rear motor one went out one time. Then I had the front motor went out. It was like after my really long over 18,000 mile road trip. I was like, truck's working great, no issues. And then I got a alert on the screen saying something about there might be something that might happen with the motor, so schedule an appointment with Tesla. And then I was like, it's fine. So I forgot what happened, but I was busy, so I kept pushing back the service date, and then the motor failed. The front motor failed. It felt very different to drive it because all four wheels weren't helping pull the vehicle or propel the vehicle, so it felt very different. Like, you know how a rear wheel drive vehicle feels versus a front wheel drive, right? The more power from the rear versus more power from the front, it steers different, it feels different. So it felt different driving that. But yeah, what else? So that motor had the issue. I brought it in, they fixed it, and then I was doing like a 0 to 100% charge test, and I don't know, I noticed like the motors, most of the time when I saw those issues, it was when I did like a 0 to 100% charge test. I don't know if it's related or correlated or if it's just a coincidence, but yeah, the front motor died after that. And then not too long after, not too long after they replaced that front motor, I was doing a 0 to 100% charge or something like that, I think, or going from really low charge. I charged it up a lot, and then I saw the error appear on the screen. The front motor is going to have issues or something. And I was like, what, already? Like, again? I just replaced it. So at first I was like, okay, they replaced the motors, they found the issues, so now I'm not going to have this issue anymore. And then when that popped up, I was like, oh no, because that means they didn't find the issue and they just replaced it with the same motor. But no, what happened after that one, it was weird because that time the alert went away like the next day. Like the car, it needs to like not be driven for a while for it to kind of reset. I think what it was, I was using the plug thing to charge up another car, so I kind of drained the battery pretty quick over a few hours, and then I charged it up, and then that's when I saw the front motor have the problem the first time. So I don't know, I noticed like it's that's again, I don't know if it's a coincidence. Maybe the board that handles all the currents and stuff was doing something weird. But I don't know. All I know is Tesla is working to make these things right, and so far they've pretty much corrected everything I asked for the most part. What else? I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I'm sure there were some other things. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there were some other things, but they're all like, a lot of them were like smaller things. The big things were the motors, and then the windshield wiper doing that weird thing. But I didn't, after they did the recall, I didn't have any issues until they, for some reason, replaced the windshield wiper for no reason. Yeah, so the main ones were the motors. Other than that, it was like more cosmetic, I feel, that I was complaining, or the random rattling sounds. So, yeah. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're so forgiving. I'd be so pissed," or whatever. I don't know. For me, it didn't bother me. Every time they gave me a loaner, I'm like, now I get to put miles on a car that's not mine. I don't have to worry about it wearing down the tires. And it's kind of funny because I'm like, I just did like over like almost 40,000 miles on this truck already, and that glass, because obviously you're windshield wiping whatever debris, sand, dust, it's getting all scratched up like over time. And then the wiper blade got used up. The wiper blade actually put Rain-X on the whole windshield, so I didn't really use the wiper blade too much on rainy time, but when stuff like bugs and things splat, every so often I need to use the washer fluid and clean it. And what else? I don't remember what else they did, but they changed some stuff in the front. And oh yeah, the front, the little door that covers the air filter, the cabin air filter. When I was pulling that out, the design makes it look like a pinch clip that you're supposed to pinch, but apparently you're not supposed to do that. And there's like a little rectangular kind of thing that you kind of, instead you pull that up and you pull the door out. So one of those little things that looked like a clip got, like, the tab kind of broke off, and then they replaced that for me for free. What else? What else? I think that's about it. I don't know. I'm sure there's some small things that I'm forgetting, but for the most part, it was a lot of things. Okay, again, I had 20 service things. My friend was like, "I think Tesla had it like longer than you did." No, they didn't actually, but they did have it quite a bit of time. But yeah, you can see the PowerShare thing's still not doing anything. So, yep, enable the charge station not powered. How do I tell the PowerShare to power my house? So I think it's just not working, so I have to reach out to Tesla and them to see if they can figure that out. But that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. I actually do really love this truck, even though there's been all these issues. I love it that much that even with all these issues, I'm going to keep it. The only thing I'm worried about is after the warranty's gone for the regular stuff, because, yeah, once I hit 50,000 miles, I don't know if Tesla's still going to be like, okay, like, this stuff is our fault, we'll fix it. Or they're going to be like, okay, now we're going to charge you. I know our wiper motor's bad, but we're going to now charge you like I don't know what they're going to do. We'll find out, because I'm getting there. So, but for now, yeah. So far, it's been pretty good. A lot of the stuff, I'm surprised they were working to make sure to fix it and make sure I'm happy. Because sometimes they try and say stuff like, well, that's just how it is, I'm sorry, or I don't know. But I guess they're being nicer now to try and make sure that people want to keep the trucks, because I guess they're not as in demand as they were hoping originally. I think part of it is obviously the price. The other part is that people were hoping to get like 500 miles of range with the low price before. Honestly, when I saw the truck released, I was like, there's no way they're going to make a bigger vehicle than the Model S with more range than the Model S at a much lower price than the Model S. That makes 0 sense, because they'd have to have more than double the battery pack size of the current Model S, which was 100 kilowatt hours. This current battery is 123 kilowatt hours. If I drive slow, like city speeds, I can get over 400 miles. Although there's a lot of vampire drain with this battery, with what do you call the camera, whatever, the security thing that is constantly monitoring, Sentry mode. There you go. And then the other one is, I'm pretty sure they're sending back data from the Cybertruck constantly to Tesla to try and train the system and understand what's going on, because yeah, now that they have this fleet of all these Cybertrucks out, they want to collect that information. Yeah, what else? I don't know. Everything else I think's pretty good. But yeah, I really do like the truck a lot. So if someone were to tell me they'd buy it back for what I paid for it and the wrap and everything that I spent on it, not even deduct mileage and stuff like how Tesla would do it, I'd still prefer to keep the truck. The only way I would not is if I can go ahead and buy another one of the same exact thing, wrap everything back up, and come out with more money than I did before. But even then, because of how much service I had done on this to make sure everything was good, I'd be more scared to get another Cybertruck and then have to go repeat the whole thing again. And then because when I first got it, I was trying to make sure all the panels and everything were correct before I wrapped it. Right? Because if I wrapped it and there were imperfections, then I can no longer change out the panels or have it buffed out. And if I ever peeled that thing off, all those scratches and stuff would still be under there. So, yeah. So for me, I think even if I were reimbursed everything completely, all the accessories, everything I got for the truck, I'd still rather keep this current one that I got all this service done on to make sure everything's good. The only other nice thing, I guess, is the mileage would be reset to 0 and then I'd have a new warranty. Maybe if I can get everything exactly the same, the new mileage set to 0 and free unlimited supercharging, maybe I'll take that deal. But no, because then I'd have to go through all the stuff making sure everything's correct, then rewrapping everything and redoing a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of headache. I'd rather just keep this one. I enjoy it a lot. I don't really do any off-roading. I do it more like just on-road. Some people bought it to have fun off-roading, but that's not what I do. And yeah, the most off-roading kind of thing I do is driving up the sidewalk or something like that. Or going like on a dirt trail, like that's going back to the freeway, on like not for the purpose of going off-road, but because that's just a dirt trail, right? So yeah, I don't know. Other than that, I really do enjoy the truck. It drives really nice. When I go back to other vehicles, the other vehicles feel bad. Like if I drive any other vehicle now, they don't feel as like anywhere near as nice. That's one thing that if you test drive a Tesla, most of the time people are like, I want one now. So yeah, if you're wondering if you hate Tesla or whatever, I mean, I don't think you'd be on my video that long if you hate Tesla. But if you do hate Tesla or something and you've never test driven one, do that and then go ahead and continue like spouting your hate after that. So after you're more educated on what a Tesla actually is. But yeah, the Cybertruck drives really nicely. Suspension is much nicer. Obviously, you can find some vehicles that have even nicer, softer suspension, but they'll be tuned for different things. But yeah, it's really nice being able to charge at home, even though I don't charge at home. Even the supercharging for me, I'll like save work to do in the vehicle while I'm supercharging. So for me, it works out fine. For other people, it'd be better if you can charge at home. And for most people, having to go supercharge every day if you don't have a place to plug in at home could actually be a deal breaker, because then you have to sit out somewhere charging for like 30 to 40 minutes or so. Honestly, you only need like 20 minutes, but even then, like, most people wouldn't want to sit somewhere for 20 minutes to charge and wait. But yeah, if you sit at home a lot and you like watch videos or something on your phone a lot, or just go on social media a lot, you can just use that charging time to do that. So yeah. But yeah, there you go. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll answer them. I try and be as honest as I can with my experience and everything. Even with the wheel covers and stuff, they gave me like people that took a while to get the original wheel covers. Even after they gave everyone the wheel covers, then they gave them a voucher for, instead of the full wheel cover, like a center cover. And they said as an apology for having to wait so long. But I think what it is some people, they didn't want this wheel cover that goes over the tire, because you know how a lot of the Teslas, people curb their wheels. So adding this wheel cover, it gives you something to curb. Like you're gonna hit the outside of the wheel cover. I actually did that once, like slightly, and then the wheel cover like spun out of alignment. I had to line it back up, right? But the damage that it took is not too noticeable. The rubber piece got a little bit like a little bit of like wear to it, kind of like if you were to take an eraser and just like rub it, then the eraser will get like a little bit of that wear on it, right? But yeah, so they gave me those little wheel covers as well. And yeah. I had another thing where in the truck bed, when it's really cold, I guess the grease, it's not as good for the latch for the underbed storage, so sometimes that got stuck. But nothing, again, I mean, it fixed itself when it warmed up, so I don't know. Nothing really else to say about it that I can think of. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. Alright, so if I think of anything else, I'll let you guys know. And I think for now, I think at least I can't find anything else to complain about for service appointments. So yeah. I also brought it in for service appointment for tire rotation, and then I was gonna try and get the tires rotated again after my trip, but then because the tire wear, right? Oh no, after my trip I did rotate the tires. So that's one thing with the Tesla vehicles, is if you need to rotate your tires, at least for the Cybertruck, I couldn't bring that to just any tire shop. I had to have Tesla do it. So after the trip I rotated them, so basically then the rear tires got worn out so much from that trip, so now the front tires moved to the back, so now the back ones have a lot more tread and the front ones have a lot less. And I guess once it's time to replace the tires, hopefully they'll be kind of more evenly worn down. And yeah. There was another thing that I was scheduling like a service appointment for, was one of the seat belts after a service appointment. It was like twisted, but somehow the twisted portion just got rolled into the retracting thing. So after I was like pulling the seatbelt out and then letting it go back in like a few times, it somehow just untwisted itself. I was like, what? How'd that happen? Yeah, so I don't remember. I think I had that set up as a service appointment, and then I ended up being like, oh, never mind, it fixed itself. I don't remember if that counted as one of the 20. But yeah. That's it for now. This is a long video, getting close to almost an hour, well, 40 minutes. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, if I come up with more stuff or find more things, honestly, I'll update you guys. All right, see you guys later. Bye.